Hi, I'm Spaceboy.
And I'm Surlana.
And you're listening to Spaceboy Universe
on the Paranormal UK Radio Network.
This is Patrick Stat Spore, and you're listening to Spaceboy Universe.
32 minutes, 21 seconds. 5-second tone followed by a 1-second pause.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Okay, gang, let's go.
From the space city called Houston, Texas, welcome to Spaceboy Universe, featuring Spaceboy and the lovely Surlana. So strap in and prepare for launch sequence.
Greetings and welcome to what we like to call Spaceboy Universe. Across from me is the lovely Surlana as we get to start this broadcast tonight. It is March 23rd, 2019, and tonight we're freestyling like always. It's topic roulette, and we'll take calls and have a good time tonight. As always, follow us on Twitter, that's at the SBU Universe. Follow Surlana at Surlana. Follow me, that's Spaceboy at Spaceboy Music. Make sure to tweet your hashtags tonight with hashtag SBU Universe and hashtag Space Cadets. In addition to Twitter, you can find us all over social media. Just search for Spaceboy Universe. Hey, Space Cadets, you'll want to check out our YouTube channel. We do more than the archive of shows there. There is video content from Spaceboy Music, video interviews, 2-Bit Gamers, and so much more. So click that subscribe button and click the bell to be notified when new content is available. Can't catch a show live? No problemo. Spaceboy Universe is all over the universe via Spreaker, SoundCloud, iTunes, iHeartMedia, Spotify. Wow, it's just the list is enormous. Even iTunes, that's impressive there too. But anyway, we like to broadcast. And on that magical note, let me bring in my sedated co-host, Surlana. Hello, Surlana.
Hi. Mm-hmm. I think you can tell I'm not well.
But are you hot?
No, I'm not hot.
I'm
cold.
It's finally cold in the studio again.
Temporarily, I guess.
No, it's going to be a solid fix. Monday.
Okay.
Monday is
Monday.
Yeah, come Monday.
Okay.
But at the end of that rainbow, until then, we do have some cold air in the house, and that's always lovely.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That is good. Mm-hmm. Excuse me.
You're triggering me off.
I know, it's, I have a number of things going on, and I won't get into it, but, it's unpleasant. I went to these quick clinics that's in a grocery store, and I'm on some, antibiotics. I felt completely drained of my life force, like it's completely drained.
You wouldn't think that, considering all the rest you got today.
I tell you, I could leave right now and go another 12 hours.
I got up as normal, and
because you're a good person, blah blah blah.
But the thing is that where did I go? At some point, I went back to bed, and because you weren't getting up, so
like your life depends on mine. Just do what you got to do, man.
I might take advantage of that tomorrow.
Okay.
We'll see.
Be a lot of cleaning done tomorrow too. Probably. And so there's this show is just going to be kind of random and all over the place, and Spaceboy, you're going to have to carry most of it, I'm sure. So
well, I'd like to start off tonight with comic hero news, and so okay. I know that always thrills you, but
I don't care.
At this this point now, I'm bringing up the new Shazam movie. I'm looking forward to seeing. I guess that's going to be opening the first weekend of April, and the critics are in. And after the staggering success of Aquaman, there's a lot of pressure on Warner Brothers to prove that its shared superhero universe is indeed back on track. Well, luckily, the first standalone film by James Wan, Shazam, seems to be doing just that. The review embargo is now up for the film, and critics couldn't help but fall in love with the film that it kind of like its big meets Superman premise. That finds foster kid Billy Baston, who ends up turning into the adult superhero played by Zachary Levi. In this particular, the reviews are heavily praising Levi, who apparently goes whole hog in the role that was once named Captain Marvel in the DC universe. So there's a lot of promising, reviews coming this way with Shazam, and it looks good. It looks like it's a fun movie. I guess it's kind of a turn, from their normal thing of being labeled the dark universe. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that I look forward to and talking about that movie and seeing how that goes. So I'm looking forward to that. Let's see what else we got here. Well, it'll be interesting to see with the days to come how social media basically implodes over the new, release. Mueller releases his findings, and I guess they'll spill over into, I guess it's already seen in social media, politics breaking down again, people against people, and it's just truly sad, They should be doing something more than what they should be doing.
What are you talking about?
Oh, I'm talking about the Mueller report about the Russian collusion.
Oh.
And, I keep wanting to call him Mulder. But, he looks like he would be right out of, X-Files. But anyway, so preliminary, although the report hasn't necessarily been released yet, there's no more indictments going to be issued out, meaning that Trump seems to be off the hook for this. So, I normally don't do the politics thing, but since it's going to tie into social media, and I've already started seeing an influx of, the Democratic Party already crying about this, and they were expecting him to be impeached and all that. There's still a storm coming, and I guess we'll see how that goes when it comes down.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Do you have something you want to chime in with?
Yeah, I got a few things if you need it.
Well, go ahead.
Well, the other day I saw something on Facebook someone had posted, and I just laughed and rolled my eyes, and then later when I had some time to look into it, I found out what was really going on. So the infamous Logan Paul.
Oh, yeah.
Who went over to Japan, acted like an idiot, and handled this suicide forest thing really, really insensitively. And then a few months later, there's videos of him messing around with a dead rat corpse. So it's, and then there was the I'm going to go gay for the May of March, like you can just go gay. So he's just like a world-class idiot on YouTube. He's a YouTuber. That's the latest thing that we're like, whatever. The link that I saw said, Logan Paul goes to the Antarctic to prove the Earth is flat. Well, there's always somebody that gets this wrong. What it is Logan Paul has a satirical flat Earth documentary that gets to the heart of YouTube's recommendation issue. The real-time effect of a recommendation algorithm at play. So Logan Paul is in this 50-minute, and it's a satirical documentary exploring flat Earth conspiracies and how it demonstrates how someone open to an idea can become indoctrinated into believing something that isn't real. Sure, if you're got a weak mind, but the whole thing is facetious, and the documentary is trying to explore parallels between his journey into flat Earth conspiracy theories and the way conspiracies spread on YouTube isn't. So it takes place majority at this Flat Earth International Conference. So Paul goes around at this conference from booth to booth to ask people about their beliefs. And he does mock them. And he gets into conversations. And he finds himself questioning everything. By the end of the documentary, after falling in love with a flat earth theorist and coming out of a flat earth closet, he admits the conspiracy is the stupidest thing he's ever heard. Which, coming from him, that must be something. If that's the stupidest thing he's ever heard when he's the stupidest human on earth, you know, but if he does some good, if it does some good about, you know, the issue, maybe, I don't know. The bigger part of this issue is, you know, they say people spend approximately 280 minutes a week watching YouTube. I would say I probably spend more because it's my main source of entertainment.
I think I spend more than you.
So that may not seem like much compared to like Netflix or, you know, other things. But you have to remember the average video on YouTube is around 10 minutes, and that's on purpose because of people have learned like how to keep you. 10 minutes is like optimal to keep your attention, but no more, no less. So if you spent 40 minutes a day, that's 4 videos, 28 videos a week. So it's a lot of info to take in. Well, so is watching TV, I would say.
Well, just like in the old days, people would fall asleep to TV, right? Well, I fall asleep listening to different videos on YouTube. Find out in this new exciting episode.
They say they're finding, well, that's if people, but what if these are all conspiracy theories? So what? Let people watch what they want to watch. But here at Texas Tech University, they did a survey of attendees at that conference and found 29 people suggested YouTube videos change their views. Well, if you're susceptible, it doesn't matter if it's YouTube, your next door neighbor, your Uncle Ted. I mean, what does YouTube care what you believe?
Uncle Ted. Is that like kind of subliminal because you've been watching Father Ted?
Well, let's we can put this to bed. Basically, so they're trying to point out how YouTube is going to push these videos down, and so it might be that Logan's documentary gets pushed down the algorithm. It won't get served up to you as a suggestion. So conspiracy theories are becoming increasingly easy for people to discover and bring more attention to topics under the guise of entertainment.
Honestly, I don't look to Logan Paul for
anything.
Enlightenment of any kind.
If I need to laugh and feel better about myself, I'll look at him. So
I just look at him and feel sad for his generation.
YouTube was rolling out some tools to help viewers distinguish between a conspiracy theory and fact. Well, good luck, YouTube. That'll be interesting. But speaking of people named Ted, Bill and Ted are embarking on a third excellent adventure next year.
Awesome. Excellent.
And
most excellent.
I think it's adorable that Keanu was on board for this because he's no longer small potatoes anymore. He's a badass actor. It's called Bill and Ted 3 Face the Music. It's a long-awaited sequel to the really horrible 1991 Bill and Ted Bogus Adventure.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe to be released next year in August. Details, time travel will be involved. And it will, Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter are involved in it. So I don't know if they're in it or if they're just putting their blessing on it. And there's going to be time travel and maybe somebody younger than them plays them, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot's changed since we've seen the last films. Reeves has transitioned from comedy into an action movie star, best known for martial arts films like John Wick, Speed, and The Matrix. Meanwhile, Winter's primarily he's been a director. We haven't seen him, but he's been busy directing behind his camera. So, there's some really cute photos of them together, you know.
Right.
And looks like Keanu's grown his hair back out.
Yeah.
Even longer than when he was in,
Wick?
The first movie.
Oh, yeah, in the first movie.
The first Bill and Ted movie. He had it kind of like a bowl cut thing. And Alex Winter almost looks the same. He's just a little more, puffy.
Aged.
But they're still, they're kind of adorable together, So, I'll probably watch that for nostalgia's sake.
It should be good. But, going from that, the new John Wick movie's coming down the pipe. That looks pretty awesome.
Excuse me.
Have you seen the previews for that?
I don't think I have, but I would like to. There's certain trailers I'm watching, like, oh, that's cool. And there's some I'm very deliberately not watching because I want to be completely surprised. So, but that's not one of them.
Stranger Things.
Stranger Things. I don't want to talk about it. Anyway, I'm going to put you on the spot.
Okay.
I'm going to put you on the spot. I'm going to do something nerdy. How many versions of Microsoft Office can you name? Starting with Microsoft Office. And it goes to what? 97? 2000? 2003? 2007? 2010?
2013.
2013. And then
there's 13.
Is there, what's between 13 and 17?
I think it jumps to 19.
There's no 2017?
I don't believe there's a 17.
So would the latest version be 365?
Well, that is the way they're going with Office.
Yeah. So
instead of issuing a disk,
download it or just do it on the web.
How Office is being managed is like if you buy a Dell computer, you can get it already on the Dell computer, and they'll issue you a key for that particular license. Actually, what you do is you go and you license it through Microsoft, get a Microsoft account, and that's how you would license it. But the trend is to buy a subscription to Office 365, and then let that manage it, and then it gives you an ability to download the Office to your computer. Or if you're on the go, you can access Office 365 online and use the applications
online. You sound like
online.
an ad.
Well, it's a business I'm in, so.
Well, what do you remember about the earliest versions of Office? What was a really annoying feature?
Clippy.
Mm-hmm. Microsoft resurrects Clippy, then brutally kills him off again. Clippy's had a hard life. He was born in Office in 97. Mm-hmm. He politely but irritatingly offered hints for using the product. So you either loved him or hated him. He had those little Groucho eyes.
Well, he wasn't the only one.
You could change the avatar.
The theme.
Yeah, but he was the default.
The other one I remember was the Wizard.
Most people didn't know how to turn him off, so it was kind of short. So we get Office XP in 2001. Microsoft took him out, mm-hmm. right? And instead you get smart tags, task panes, help, Clippy has been trying to find a job at Microsoft ever since. And we thought recently he was back for good. So Microsoft resurrected Clippy on Tuesday, transforming the paperclip into an animated pack of stickers for the company's team chat software. They were released on their GitHub page, free from Microsoft Teams. Then they disappeared a day later, vanishing back to the archives. So it was just sort of like a cute little Easter egg. We have no plans to bring him back to the team software. I'm looking at the stickers. It's just like the little stickers you see on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
They got him at a desk. They got him holding some coffee. They got him holding a coffee mug, beer, saying hello there. It's different stuff. So the situation is that Microsoft tells us that the brand police inside a company weren't happy that Clippy appeared in Microsoft Teams, that's the software, and immediately ordered a brutal firing to get rid of him. So I don't know why little stickers of a paperclip upset Microsoft so bad, but they had to kill it. So that's some really deep hatred for a paperclip.
Oh, actually, I think more deep hatred was Microsoft Bob, because it was released in 95 and then quickly terminated in 96. It was designed to be a more user-friendly interface than what we've commonly grown accustomed to, the OS. So Microsoft Bob.
I don't recall that.
Yeah, basically it had a screen where it looked like, I guess, an office. And you would click on certain things like, if you had need like, for example, a book of some kind, you could pull it off the shelf. Well, it was more of a click instead of actually physically, more actively what they have now as far as a three-dimensional thing. But that's what it was designed, is that you could interface with like a room that, and it had a calendar in the middle of it, so you knew what the date was.
I seem to recall something like that on a Hewlett-Packard OS interface.
Yeah, basically Bob included various Office suite programs such as Finance Application and Word Processor. The user interface was basically designed to just simplify the navigation experience for novice computer users. So they felt like, I guess there was a train of thought at the time, was that Microsoft was just too complicated and it had to break it down for users that were...
There is something for people who find Microsoft Windows too complicated. It's called a Mac computer. And if you do find it too complicated, just go over to Mac and then I will stop talking to you for a while. So, once again, Walmart seems like it's desperate to stay relevant. Like it's drowning and it's trying to keep its head above water to tread water with the big boys. We've seen that they've tried to get back into the streaming business in a different way. That didn't work. They've tried to do some other things that didn't work. They've tried to do some things with their business model with their stores that didn't work. They ended up shutting down Walmart neighborhood markets. Not all of them, but a lot of them. That happened here in our area. So it seems like they're struggling to keep up. It seems like they struggled to get delivery and curbside together because it's still not quite working in our area. But so now the latest thing they're trying to do is Walmart is reportedly looking into launching its own cloud gaming service. So just to give you, if you don't know, Amazon owns Twitch. Twitch is for people who play games and want to record themselves playing it live, to stream it live. And also, of course, you can always back it up on YouTube and watch it later. But so Amazon owns Twitch. So it's not unheard of that Walmart might try to do this. Well, so it seems like they're competing real hard with Amazon on a lot of things, for video, for delivery, for pickup, for curbside, for retail space, business models, and ideas. And they're trying to play catch up.
Well, I think also Walmart has put a bad taste in a lot of consumers' mouth, in the sense that when it's come to their customers, I don't think they've really listened to their customers. And so they're watching people like Amazon to try to shape their future. And, it's a shame that they have not kept up and tried to be the trendsetters that they could have been.
Well, Google announced something called Stadia.
You just stole my next thing, which I was just going to bring that up. Stadia is the Google's attempt to get into the game streaming service, and this is a good thing because this is going to push innovation. And
really,
yeah, because Google can throw money at this left and right, and won't bat an eye as far as what it has to do to get into this gaming market. So. What does that mean? Streaming, right? Yes. So that means they're going to push for better connections. They're going to, Google has the ability to, because, they lay their own, in certain cities, you got these, what they call Google cities, where they've laid fiber in the cities to improve the connection speeds in certain cities. So, and in the hardware, I heard that it's gonna practically be so cheap that they'll give it to you. So, it's gonna be interesting to see. And we're talking about games that are pretty much a lot of the stuff we're playing out there, like on Steam. Let's see. It says, as long as you're connected to the internet with a fast and stable connection, you're using a recent desktop version of Chrome browser, you've got the setup to use Stadia already. Well,
Walmart is just in the thinking about possibility stage. They're not talking about maybe even launching it. It's
Well, Google's going to crush this because it says playing a video game in Stadia is like just opening a tab in Chrome and going to the service at the Stadia.com homepage and jumping from a YouTube video about the game. So it's kind of like you just flip it open, go to your browser, click a tab, boom, you're there. And I mean, it's going to be really simple, easy experience for gamers, and that is, I think, very appealing to gamers that maybe are not techno savvy, like going back to Office and when we're talking about that, and that they have the ability to just jump on and get into a game. So it'll be fun and interesting. So I'm sure they're going to get their stuff out before Atari VCS ever comes out.
They say it probably sounds absurd that Walmart wants to do this, but they do have stuff in place now. They have 6 giant server farms. So they have the technology to do this. Now, Stadia will have to have the same kind of thing. Apple, Google, Microsoft, they manage their own services, but Walmart's isn't keeping cloud in-house. It's going to do a 5-year partnership with Microsoft and Azure 365, because we'd heard that before, that they were going to partner up. So, but Microsoft is building a game streaming service of its own, and I think ever since Twitch and Steam have dominated, it was Xbox and PS, 3 and 4 and whatever, but now people are coming off consoles and they're getting into computers to do their games, and computers have more power anyway, or you can if you get the right setup.
Right.
But they're also trying to get a reputation for a gaming community isn't save money, live better. They want something better. They want to they've shelved plans to launch a video streaming service, we told, and there's proof Walmart could back out of this venture too. So we'll see. It fascinates me because it seems to me like they're trying desperately to stay relevant.
Well, let's look at it. The industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry, gaming that is, and if I'm sure they're looking at it as maybe we can get our piece of the pie out of that, So that's nothing to scoff at. If you could put a niche into that market, and then there's enough money for whoever else to share in that wealth, So, and then who doesn't love gaming in some way, fashion, or form? I mean, whether it's like Word with Words or whatever that game is, to
Word with Words.
Yeah, Bacon to Bacon.
You're just making up crap now.
Well, who wouldn't want to play that game, Bacon to Bacon? It's a delicious game that it's the gift that keeps on giving.
You should have put these ideas out there for people to steal, baby.
Whatever. If somebody's willing to invest in that kind of game, I'm willing to taste test. So, we'll just see how that goes. All right. So you're listening to the SBU. You know the music. Break time. Get you a drink. We'll be right back.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe on the SBU network.
Explore the universe with Spaceboy and Surlana.
Beautiful.
is author Jordan Root. You are listening to the Spaceboy Universe.
This is K28, and I'm listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Hi, y'all. This is Lori calling from Texas, and I love listening to Spaceboy Universe.
Hey, this is Dave Cruz, host of Beyond the Strange, and you're listening to Spaceboy Universe.
This is Wendy. I'm listening to Spaceboy Universe. Hey, y'all. This is Lorelai DeLille. I listen to Spaceboy Universe. Don't you? Tell your mom and them I said hi.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe. Here are your hosts, Spaceboy and Surlana.
You know, usually we have conversations on the mic when we have guests, but I guess Surlana and I just zoned out there. We're apologizing in advance for tonight.
Well, I don't know your excuses, but I have an excuse.
My excuse is I was looking at DeForest Kelley here, and basically the caption is, "Have you ever heard something so stupid it gives you the DeForest Kelley face?" And you'll have to look on the internet for that.
Well, I sent you this link so you could look at the images. I don't know if you're going to do it, but this caught my eye.
Clicking on it now.
A high school drama club put on a stage production of Alien, and it looks fantastic. I'll put the actual link in both chats. So in case y'all want to check this out. We do have 2 chats running, by the way. I didn't mention, when we're live, you can come join us on Spreaker, and there's a chat. Or you can go to spaceboyuniverse.com, find our menu, go to the chat there, and we have an embedded web chat. There's people in both chats right now. So looking at this high school, it does look like a really good product. Look at those set pieces, man.
Yeah, I was just looking at like the one with the one piece that has the space jockey, as they call it, the alien, and the uniforms look excellent.
Mammoth production by the North Bergen High School Drama Club, brought to attention on Twitter when users Paul Owens posted the pictures above. And Lowe's costumes, these kids went all out on this thing. They weren't merely confined to their ability to do the Giger designs on a high school budget, but check out, there's a video on their Twitter. Famous face hugger scene nails the all-important slow burn of, oh God, don't put your head there tension. There's more video showing the incredible xenomorph costume in motion.
I can't see the video right now because we're live.
Well, yeah, we can't play it because you'll hear it.
I'm looking at the Twitter post, and I'm looking at the xenomorph, and it's impressive, like for a high school kind of thing. It looks really good.
It does. We'll keep that link. We'll look at it after, during a break or something. And
okay.
I thought you would enjoy that.
Yeah, you know me. I love the Alien universe.
So I thought that was funny. Well, popping back and forth. I'm not doing like all tech news, all music. I mean, it's back and forth, crazy.
Yeah. So what else you got?
Well, back to Microsoft again. It's rolling out a notification if you're a Windows 7 user. Your time is running out. Mm-hmm. They're pulling the plug on supporting it. It's been 10 years. January 14, 2020 is the last day Microsoft will offer security updates for Windows 7. Now, my workplace uses an enterprise version of Windows 7.
Windows 7 Pro?
Well, because this is, it's a giant thing. And it's control. I mean, I can do Windows updates, but because we're on network, they can push things through, So, they don't migrate. It's like when your time comes to get your equipment refresh, that's when they put you on the next, OS.
Honestly, I haven't, since Windows 10 is now fixed its, let's say, startup. You click the start icon and it gives you the start icon, applications. I'm sorry, tongue twister. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is, if there's any time in history to go from 7 to the most current OS, now is the time. Windows 10 is a good operating system, and it'll probably last you the next 10 years, just like Windows 7 and XP before it.
This Windows 10 we're on?
Yeah, Windows. Well, not on these machines.
No.
These are 7s.
These are 7 because I noticed the menu doesn't look like the 10 menu.
No. These are 7.
But you can make the Windows Start menu. You can force it to look like older versions, can't you?
Yeah, you can make it look like that Battleship Gray Windows, I guess, XP.
Ocean Gray or Military Gray.
So,
it's a Red Dwarf reference. I just thought that was interesting. It's like, I can't believe it's been that long we've had Windows 7.
Well, the studio computers, just going back to answering some questions you just said, we bought these refurbished, and they were probably some companies that at one point, and they got them sent back, and HP refurbished them, made them as new. And we've always had some refurbished machines, and they've always worked excellent for us. So,
well, I was shocked to find out that MySpace is still a thing.
Yeah, it's pretty shocking.
I can't believe it still exists.
Well, it's no different than, like I said, AOL still existing out there.
So, I guess they had a server migration, and it lost 50 million songs. What songs were doing there, I don't know. Music uploaded from its first 12 years in a server migration, losing 50 million songs from 14 million artists. Music no longer playable, abandoned social networking site. It was an accident, or was it an active decision? That's what they don't know. Do they mean to do this or no? I'm deeply skeptical this was an accident. Flagrant incompetence may be bad PR, but it still sounds better than we can't be bothered with the effort and cost of migrating and hosting 50 million old MP3s. No official statement from MySpace. However, article on the social networking site says regarding the migration of old content, the gist is that only photos and friends or connections are available on the rebuilt platform. So if you're looking for something that's not on the list, that means the content is no longer available and cannot be retrieved. So I don't know what... So, okay, from 2005 to 2009, MySpace was the biggest social networking site in the world, and it became an essential marketing tool for gigging bands to help launch careers like Arctic Monkeys and Kate Nash. So they actually put their music up there. So if you didn't have it backed up personally, it's gone. Well, it's hard to believe you wouldn't already have all that stuff somewhere,
Like us, over multiple drives. And have we, didn't you, we've uploaded to the cloud, so to speak, right?
I'm actually trying quickly to upload stuff at work to our
Amazon
cloud
Drive?
because they're not offering me any
storage space.
No, they're not. So, and unfortunately, we're talking tons of PSDs, AI files, and JPEGs, PNGs, some TIFFs. And I can't not have them either. So.
I recently copied a lot of my. You know how you're talking about your PSDs. Think of that as for music, but
it's
on my
working layer files
for my music that I've used
working
over
files,
the years since 2000, going back that far. And a lot of that stuff was on disc that I've just kept in a folder. But a lot of good it does if I want to access it more quickly and do something on the fly.
Well, what I like about having Amazon cloud storage is I got the app for it on my phone. And like you say, you told me one day you needed a copy of our car insurance proof of insurance, and I had scanned that and uploaded it to the Amazon Drive, and I was able to just tap and just boom right to text message to you, there's proof of car insurance. So it's no brainer. So I really appreciate it for that. And if I type up some notes at work, I throw it onto the cloud. I don't even bother emailing myself. That way I can just access it all the time without digging for it. So
right.
You had told me this. You could probably expand on it. Taika Waititi is voicing a beloved murder droid in The Mandalorian.
Not only is he voicing that character, he is also going to be directing an episode for that show. I'm glad you brought up Disney.
Well, yeah.
Because basically, it's official. Fox and Disney are now one unit, and so
it took a while, didn't it?
So as the layoffs arrive, Disney and Fox staff voice frustrations, and you're going to get this from two companies that are pretty dang huge, because you're going to have some redundancies that you need to get rid of, and a lot of the workers there, especially at Fox, don't know what's going on as far as are they going to have a job. But from what I've heard is that some of the employees are letting go. They're paying them for 9 months' salary.
Oh.
So it's not like they're going to just be dropped to the curb and go to the workman's compensation, unemployment compensation thing. They'll be able to, live somewhat comfortably for a while to find something new. But, I wanted to bring that up while I was thinking.
Well, Taika Waititi, if you don't know who that is, he did the voice of Korg in Thor Ragnarok. He also directed Thor Ragnarok. But before all that, he was already kind of known. He's a New Zealander.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd watch this show, and I saw you watch it, but I was like, a lot of times I'm just not into what you're doing.
You basically took that cat approach, like, I don't want you to rub my back. Just, I'm going to move you on over here. And
well, it took me a while, and I'd recently saw some of these older clips of this show that Taika was in. It was called What We Do in the Shadows. And so I saw that it was on Amazon Prime, so we didn't have to pay for it, right? Because I already paid for it. And I thought, well, what the heck? I was on my lunch hour at work. I'll just watch it on my phone. And oh my gosh, that was so funny. Basically, What We Do in the Shadows, it's like 4 vampires from different ages are living together in an apartment, just trying to, live their lives at night. And they allow a film crew to come in and shoot a documentary about them. And kind of like, the American Office, there's this film crew that never really gets addressed or anything. But Taika is a vampire. And he kind of is like, takes you through the day of like, he calls a house meeting of the vampires like, okay, you're not washing the dishes and you're not doing this. And they're like, I'm a vampire. I don't do dishes. And I like the one they have in the basement in a crypt. He looks like Nosferatu. He's like thousands of years old. It's just a really funny. Part of it's kind of charming. I love the fact that somebody brings in a human, and they like him so much they want him to come hang out. And they said, "We promise we're not going to eat Stu. We all made a vow not to eat him." So I really enjoyed that. It's if you've got Amazon Prime Video, you could just go watch it right now without having to pay anything. But there is an American version. I don't know if it's out yet or if it's coming. I don't know much about it. I know Matt Berry is in it. Matt Berry played the son on the It Crowd that took over, Random Industries. But I don't know if I doubt it's going to be as funny because, the guy who was one half of Flight of the Conchords is one of the vampires. The guy who was their agent from Flight of the Conchords, he plays the alpha werewolf. They're always scrapping with this werewolf pack.
And then I told you about how there will be another spinoff called We Wolves. Mm-hmm. Which,
it talks about the werewolf pack.
I literally have to stop and say it that way because it really sounds like werewolves. Werewolves.
Well, it should be We Wolves is what it should be.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
The correct way to say it. But, yeah, that was funny when he was telling them there was going to be a full moon, and he was like trying to get the other werewolf guys to tie themselves to trees and take off their clothes because they're going to burst out. It's like, if you like the clothes you have on, take them off now because you're going to bust through them.
And real quick, Gene was asking in the chat room, where do you change the start on 10? If you go down to the bottom where your toolbar is, and in the far left, then the Windows icon should be white, and then you click that should get you in. Now, if you don't have that option, then you're probably using a younger version of 10. It was before and it'll be more. There's a version of 10 that's more like 8, which I hate 8.1 as far as of the OS. Because they were trying to do the tiles and stuff and trying to integrate Windows as across the board. You had tablets and stuff where the experience was the same, and that's what 8 was all about with these tiles. But I mean, they didn't get rid of the tiles completely. It's still there when you click on the start on the bottom to get into, because you'll have all your apps on the left-hand side, and then to the right, you'll have the tile still. And you can still get to that window that looks like version 8.1, but they do make it to where it's a lot better than going through the tiles and stuff. Now, there is a program out there that if you have 8.1, you can run this program and it'll change your startup in 8.1 to look a lot more like 7, to where you're used to, where it has the 2 columns. One side has the applications and the other has computer, documents, control panel. So
I was just saying in chat, I can't.
Yes, Catalina.
I can't
tiles
spell
are
tonight.
annoying.
I cannot spell tonight. I apologize, but I'm not really bothering to spell correctly because I don't care. But I was telling Bob here, in the beginning with me, right?
Mm-hmm.
My dad got a computer, and it was only DOS. And there wasn't, I don't know what he got it for, because to me, it was like, it's just this stupid box sitting there,
And 8 floppy disks to load it.
Yeah, it was the compact computer that you quote unquote portable if you lifted weights for a living. But then he got something called DOS Shell. I guess this was an extension,
German made?
And then there was a gorilla game that you could throw bananas at each other and kill each other. And I made him play that with me bless his heart. My dad was a saint for doing that. And then one day he gets another computer. It's like your traditional looking old white, beige, like a 286 or something,
Mm-hmm.
And we get Windows 3.1. Next thing, we get another computer, and we have Windows 3.11 networking. Why? I don't know. And we have that for a long time, and then he wants to go to Windows 95, and I pitched a fit, because now I was old enough to pitch a fit about it. I didn't care. Because Windows 3.1 actually had stuff you could do in it, beyond DOS. It was a graphical user interface.
Well, 95 was a better graphical interface than 3.3.
Well, no, but because it was radically different. The way it looked, the way it behaved, the way it functioned, the way you navigated. It was so strange. But it was the basis of everything we've had since then.
Mm-hmm.
So we went from DOS to 3.1, 3.11, 95, 98, all the flavors of that.
Mm-hmm.
2000.
98 was one of my favorites.
2000 for networking. We did not do ME edition, thank God.
Because I think 98 started supporting USB.
Mm-hmm. It did. And DVDs.
Mm-hmm.
And then we stayed for that. I think we had 98 for so long, and then 2000 on one computer. And that's when things started to go from one computer to 2, then 3. There's a computer in every room in our house. All clones, right? You just build it yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Dad taught me how. He insisted I learn how to put together a computer. Then comes XP. And I would give anything to go back to that world. I freaking love XP. And I think it is because of the legacy stuff I have. It was a 32-bit environment, but we live in a 64-bit world now, so nothing will ever... And don't give me that stuff about, you can run it in compatibility mode. I don't know what compatibility mode is for.
Compatibility
but
mode
it don't
is
work.
For running older applications. Now,
it just don't work.
It does work for a lot of programs out there that...
Not games, though.
Companies need applications to run in that kind of environment. And
so boring things. Okay.
Unfortunately, your Doom game doesn't work in compatibility mode.
But so I mean, an XP. Remember? It was so radical. It was actually stable. The only problems I ever had with it was not enough RAM and hardware issues. I got more blue screens of death with XP, but that when you have a blue screen of death, that is a hardware issue.
Now. 2000 is a lot of people might know, Millennium Edition was kind of a...
We don't talk about that.
But what was cool about it, it had a great pinball game.
Yes, it did. I missed that pinball game.
I think it was called Space Cadet.
Yes. It was called Space Cadet.
Of all things, Space Cadet. And
I want to say 2000 had that.
Yeah.
2000 had it. And then we stayed for that. Well, and I hated having to go to... There was what is come after it, Vista. Vista was not good.
No, they had a lot of driver issues. That's why they rushed to go from Vista to...
And then 8 comes along. 8's, like you said, the tiles and stuff. It was a little...
That was
a shock.
Consumer pushback on that, and that's why...
And then they bring a 7, which is more like everything that came before that we're used to. And then we stayed with 7 forever.
Nobody wanted to upgrade from 7 to 8 because of the tile situation.
So we go 7, 8. There is no 9.
No.
I guess 9 must be a taboo number for Microsoft.
Well, the joke is 7, 8, 9.
I don't think even Microsoft would sacrifice that, but let's go straight to 10 because 10 is a strong number.
And then at that time, people were still reluctant because 10 still resembled a lot of 8.1.
I predict there will be no 11 or anything like that. They'll start calling it a name. I bet they'll abandon the numbering from now on.
Just flat out calling it a name.
Yeah. Windows Rainbow Sparkle Edition, something like that. It'll be, you remember Longhorn and, that kind of stuff. I think that's what they'll do. So that's my prediction. But anyway, I know we're near a break.
We're close. Let's see here. A nice jaunt down the Microsoft product lane tonight.
Well, that's our world. You and I live in that world every day, right?
Technology. But I guess we can go ahead and take the break now. So when we come back, hopefully we'll upgrade to a new piece of software.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe on the SBU network.
Explore the universe with Spaceboy and Surlana.
Hey, Surlana!
What?
If Spaceboy Universe was cheese, would you eat it? Come on now, it's a simple question.
Maybe?
SpaceboyUniverse.com.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe. Here are your hosts, Spaceboy and Surlana.
Yeah, you got to be careful when you're surfing the web. You never know what you might pick up. And I guess I'll continue to talk. I'm just looking at the chat here, and Gene was talking about a virus stain. And one piece of software I like to use to do a little cleanup on a machine is called Malwarebytes. This is not a pitch of any kind, just a simple program that will help alleviate those virus issues that might not be seen by your normal virus scanning device. I use it as part of my toolbox when I'm cleaning up machines, and it's called Malwarebytes. In fact, a nice site to go to check out for a lot of these programs that we talk about is nanite.com. And there you can download any of these programs we might discuss or use, whether it be
I thought it was Nanite.
Nanite, N-I-N-T-E, I believe.
Okay. Mm-hmm. N-I-N-I-T-E.
And Surlana, what are some of the programs you can download from there?
Well, it's just a nice, handy place to go to get all these programs in one place. You don't have to search. You don't have to go to all the different websites to get them, like Chrome, Opera, Firefox. Let's see, TeamViewer, CD Burner XP, Infrared Recorder, Discord, Skype, Pigeon, Thunderbird, Trillion, Dropbox, Google Backup Sync, OneDrive, SugarSync, iTunes, VLC, Winamp, but you ain't going to get much out of it. So you should get AMP, which is the Winamp knockoff. Audacity, Spotify, your Java uploads, Adobe Air, Silverlight, Shockwave, 7-zip to unzip files, so things like InfranView. I still use that because every now and then I'll run across a WMF file, which I need to look at. Windows Metafile, which is an old vectors. Blender, Inkscape. Let's see. Foxit Reader, LibreOffice, Qt PDF, PDF Creator, OpenOffice, Evernote, Google Earth, Steam, believe it or not, is on here. Malwarebytes, Avast, AVG, Spybot 2, which is to find spyware, malware. And you can get developer tools like my favorite thing, Notepad++, which is like Windows Notepad, but it's way better. FileZilla, Python, Putty, WinSCP, WinMerge, and Visual Studio Code, just to name a few. So what you do is you go there and you say, I want this, and you put checkboxes by all the things you want, and it will compile all these together in a convenient zip file that you can download and then run it when you're ready. So it looks really, when you go to the site, you think, oh, this site looks sketchy, but no, it's fine. It's just really plain vanilla. It's Pepsi uses it, NASA, Tupperware, Sony, Lockheed Martin, just Cornell University. So you're in good company if you go there. So just a quick way to get some of the basic, most used applications. That's NINITE.com. Again, not associated, not affiliated. We're not getting any money. It's just passing the savings on to you.
I was just reading the chat. Miss Michelle was in the hospital last Saturday. I hope she's doing better.
She's in the chat, so it's good to see you. Do you want to mention that Skype's open, or?
Go ahead, babe.
As always, you can call us if you want to. Give me a moment to collect my thoughts.
713-701-5214 is the Skype number to call in.
I just can't. I'm so drained right now. Yeah, I can't think straight. I'm gonna have to take some Benadryl soon.
She whipped up some cold meat night during the break. And
I am having some cracked pepper turkey and Colby Jack cheese, in case you're wondering what I'm doing.
And I'm chowing down on some Lucky Charms. So if you hear us smacking, then it's Surlana's fault.
Yeah. Our thoughts are with you, Michelle. I had the reason we're not doing the topic I said it was is I got sick. I got 2 separate things going on. I won't bother you with what's going on with me. And I got some tough news this week too, so I won't get into that. So I just said, yeah, I'm not going to do any research because I had some things going on at work and some personal, and being sick. So I'm not going to give up on that topic. I will come back to it when things settle down. So, but.
Well, I will bring up the fact that despite what has gone on closely with you, Surlana, it has been on my mind a little bit of being a little bit sad and longing for days gone by. And I guess I get a little emotional at times. I find myself, like, for example, I watched this movie today called Patrick. And it's about this woman who gets a pug that was her grandmother's. And, of course, it kind of made me sad, teared up at some spots. And the cutest little pug that you ever did see. But just longing for the past. I mean, how is it that the older you get, the more emotional things seem to be? I don't think I recall ever being so teary-eyed about random things, not necessarily just because about the movie. I know there was some memories that brought up about Tick Fu and watching him because he was a pug, but just other things. I think about my friends when I was a kid, and I really can't pinpoint, what is it?
As you get older and you form more relationships and you have more experiences, you understand some things better, and your priorities get straightened out, and the connections and the bonds you have with people and animals, they mean a lot to you because you're not distracted by whatever it was when you were younger. So when you don't have them in your life, you miss them, and maybe you get over it, but when you see someone else going through it, or you witness something that triggers or not nostalgia even, you remember your personal feelings about it. And I'm the same way. I used to be stone cold, hard-hearted, but now I've been through some loss. I'm about to witness some hard times, I think. There's some other stuff going on in my personal life, not with Spaceboy, but there's just it's just like I could cry at the drop of a hat now, and it wouldn't, and it doesn't even have to be sad. It doesn't have to be something sad. It could be something uplifting. You're seeing those videos of people who've been gone a long time, soldiers, people,
yes, and
they come back to their dogs. Oh God. That's almost as bad as the ASPCA commercials.
With Sarah McLachlan?
Uh-huh.
Yes, I know what you're talking about. And I just find myself, when I'm, even inspiration, it's like you said, inspirational things. And it could be as dumb as going to see, like, Ant-Man and the Wasp or something like that, and something happens and,
You got teary-eyed over seeing Solo and Chewie.
Oh, well, because that calls back to when I was a kid, and it's like seeing some old friends that I haven't seen in since Return of the Jedi, that long, I can't remember the exact year, but it's long. But it hit me in the gut. Especially the line is
we're home.
Chewie, we're home. So.
Did I see that? I think I saw it.
Yeah, you eventually saw it, and
without you. Anyway, don't know how to segue from that. I'm sorry.
No, it made me think about things, and I'm approaching 50, and each time I think about it, it makes me like, I still hear my inner kid.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
I still long to be responsibility free like a kid. My birthday's next month. I won't be 50, but I'll be pretty dang close. And I'm excited about going and picking up a birthday cake for myself. And that's the highlight of the year right there. So, awkwardly segue away from that. There's this
once again, that phone number is 713-701-5214. 701-5214. Sorry, my bad. I posted the wrong number in the thing there. So, the chat room.
There's a lot, and I mean a lot, of delivery services. Mm-hmm. Especially because we live in Houston.
There's a lot, and they can't get it right.
Delivery of food, delivery of groceries, delivery of things. We have Amazon Prime now, which Amazon will deliver. You work for Shipt, which is mostly groceries, but there's another one out there called Postmates, and they will deliver just about anything from almost anywhere. We haven't used to be. Spaceboy's going to choke to death. Real quick, he's drinking some tea. Turn your thing off. He just swallowed the wrong way. He's fine. Now he's got me to it. Shoot. So anyway, this we do have Postmates over here in Houston. So now they're doing food and goods and like that. But now, and they're kind of pricey, but they have a new delivery option called Postmates Party that lets you opt into having your meal delivered as part of a group. I don't know what this is about. It's like, you'll still get your food delivered to each person separately, but it'll be sent out in a batch. The delivery person will make multiple stops along the route, which means your order could be take slightly more time to arrive, but in exchange, they drop the delivery fee, which means sometimes it's too high to make ordering out worth it. So, it'll only be available if lots of people are ordering within, I guess, certain distance from each other. It's not clear if it's going to be available for all restaurants. It lists,
Uber does this already.
Shake Shack, Blaze Pizza, and Halal Guys. I think we have the Halal Guys here in Houston.
Yeah, we do.
It may be a good deal if you don't mind waiting. You can join a party order. You have to wait for some active times, and multiple people are ordering from the same restaurant. So you want to join a party. Let's say everybody's ordering from one restaurant. There's like 15 random people called within the same hour from one restaurant to order different things. Well, this one person could grab all these orders, wait for them all to get done, and then start delivering them, right? So I thought that was interesting, but it's like, so your food is getting a ride share, I'm like, I don't see the point in this, especially if they raise the prices so high you can't. You might as well just go there yourself. Spaceboy's not sick. He was drinking a beverage. It went down the wrong way.
And it went out my nose.
And every time I tell you Spaceboy has a drinking problem, this is what I mean. He can't drink properly. He's got to, 1 in every 3 drinks he has to nearly choke to death. So, and he does this so much, I can't take him seriously when he chokes to death. I just, I'm like, oh, he's dying again. I'll wait to see what happens. But, yeah. You about to get over it?
Yeah. Here, let me turn this down for a second. Do one last
get it out.
Motorcycle rev.
That was interesting.
Not as interesting as the tea that went in my nose.
I miss going to Alamo Draft House. We had one that was in a reasonable distance, and they closed it down. There's one further away in Katy, in there.
Yeah.
That we could go to. But so this intrigues me. Alamo Drafthouse Theaters will launch an unlimited movie plan this year, 20 per month at most of their theaters. If you can get near, and I love going to those because I love them for their alternative content they show you before each movie. You don't get the usual local ads or here's what's coming up on ABC like you give a crap. It's content that's really focused on what you're about to see, before the movie. So they're going to launch Season Pass, a Movie Pass style subscription nationwide. They're beta testing it in select theaters, and if it's working for us, we love it. It's one of our biggest priorities. So most areas of the country, the subscription will cost $20 a month. It might cost more in Brooklyn, New York, and they do have a list of locations where they're going to implement it, and it'll let you reserve your seats for movies days in advance using their app. They have an app. And when you arrive at the theater, your ticket's automatically unlocked, and you can go right into the movie. And 40,000 people have signed up for it on the wait list for Yonkers, New York Theater. They'll roll this out after the Movie Pass model tanked. That for some reason that didn't work out. They seem to be the only one that's got a subscription account like this right now.
Skype up.
Skype's up.
And it is 713-701-5214, right?
Yeah, as far as I know.
Catalina was having some difficulty calling in.
Let me see. It's up, and there's money there too. Yeah. It says welcome, James. There's our little pirate logo, and
thank you, Sherilyn.
Stop saying my name. I can't take it. I wanted to see the list of theaters that had this pass, but it's not showing it. So ours would be Katy, but I don't see it anywhere. Houston. Well,
I don't think that's an Alamo Drafthouse down there.
It isn't?
No.
So there's one Alamo Drafthouse in Houston.
And there you go. Greeting, caller.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Oh, yes. Last time I tried the number, an Emily voicemail picked up. Very odd.
Well, we don't have an Emily here.
I know. That was really strange. But, okay, so I got in. That's good. So hello, both of you.
Well, hello.
And condolences to Michelle, if you hear me. Big hugs.
From all of us.
And her dad left at the spring equinox. That was a good time to go. It's a separation of dimensions every time you go. I don't know, that's what I believe. The equinoxes and the solstices, I think they open up different dimensions,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So if you're going to go, that's probably a good time to go between the dimensions. You don't get caught up. Those tickets, I was going to say, that you can get before the movie, and like even now, some of these, I think it's AMC, where you go and you pay and they make you pick a seat. I didn't like that at all. You know why? Because you look at the map,
mm-hmm.
and of course you want to pick the best seat, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you get in there, and then somebody else has picked the right seat, But then you're like obligated in some ways to stay in that seat. And then, like the last time I was there, oh my gosh, these kids were next to me and crunching their foods and slurping and couldn't sit in their seat. And I just thought, why do I feel like I have to stay in this seat? That's just ridiculous. So I
know what you mean. The theater that's in the mall closest to us does this. You want to buy a ticket online, it's assigned seating. So you have the map, would you stop it? You do this too. I don't want to hear a word from you. You do this too. Sorry, Catalina. Domestic dispute. Anyway,
okay, I'm used to it.
We have to pick, like I said, and then you don't know who's on either side. Now, when things are going well for us, sometimes Spaceboy will purchase 3 seats, and then leave the seat next to me empty. That way, no one can sit there and put my purse there, because I don't,
wow.
I don't like that. Why do we have a second call? Oh, Bev's calling. So, I don't know if it'll drop her or if I merge these calls, so I don't know if it'll work.
Better just... Bev, wait, and we'll get to you.
Because, yeah. But I don't like other people anyway, but in a theater, we saw Captain Marvel, things were good up until like 2 minutes before the movie actually started. This woman, stupid, sat next to me and just the whole time till the movie started. And I'm like, I don't know who you are.
Annoying.
Not during the movie, but I was like, shut the bleep up. Nobody gives a bleep about what you, and everybody can hear her. And I'm just like, and the lights already gone down, and I'm like, can't I just punch people in the face? Why can't I just
was this for Captain Marvel?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, mm-hmm. I recognized the 2 ladies because they did seem kind of loud. But you didn't.
Just, so much rude and disrespect, and you're paying a lot. And then, okay, don't text, turn your phone off. Great. But people are still looking at their phone, and that light, your eyes totally go to a bright light in the dark.
Yeah. I've seen a couple people do that, but I usually turn over and give them the rock look, the eyebrow up, And
now, when we go to Edwards Mark E Theater, that's Regal Cinema. The other one's Cinemark. The other one's Regal. It's not assigned seating, but
I don't like that assigned seating at all.
The thing that Cinemark has over Regal is Cinemark does have electric recliners. Let you sit in.
Oh, I've never done that before.
It's all electric recliners.
Assigned seating, electric recliners. We know our theater so well that we know the perfect seats. And like Surlana says, I actually buy her the extra seat just so that, she'll
random weirdo won't sit next to me.
She'll have a pleasant movie experience.
I am that upset about other people next to me.
What a good husband. That's
he doesn't do it every time because, it can be pricey. But he'll do it every now and then when, things are good. But
when it's a popular movie, and everybody's going, because usually we'll go to a movie on a Sunday and watch a movie then when there's hardly anybody there, and because everybody's still drunk from Saturday night, and and going to the movies on a Sunday is hardly what everybody's trying to do, so
right. Sunday matinees are probably the best for sure. I wanted to also add on to what you were saying about sentiment. I'm very sentimental, and I think when you're young, you think that everything is always and everybody is always going to be there for you.
Right.
You don't have that concept unless you lose like your parents when you're young or something. And then then you form the long relationships. Or I understand what you're saying about missing the past, because to me, like, the best decade was the 80s, and
heck yeah,
I do have some flashbacks, and sometimes when I close my eyes, I just pretend like I'm in there just to feel that energy again.
Yes, I know exactly what you're saying.
I do think the Earth is moving into another dimension. They're all saying that, and so it's kind of like we're saying goodbye to the third dimension of, everything we understood or thought was cool about kind of being human, because we're moving our frequencies up. So I don't like that word transhuman, but whatever, we're becoming more higher light beings or something. And it's not going to be brick and mortar physical world so much. I think it's going to be something different. And that's hard because, when you're older, then you're more attached to, I can only imagine what it was like for people that lived with horses and stuff, and then they went into, now you're going to be in cars for the rest of your life. And you're like, oh, yeah, this is cool, but then I miss my animals, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, Catalina. When I had to give up my Civic to get the Element, I cried. And if the time comes to give up my Element, my Honda Element, I may have to go to counseling.
I know that's the way I feel about my Honda, too. But the idea of, you know, easily just calling up an Uber that you've already established, you know, a good rapport with when they're, you know, just coming to get you for wherever you want to go. I mean, that's not too bad either. You don't have to pay all the money it is to have a car. But I feel the same way. It's my friend, and I would feel really bad about all that stuff. So, yeah, I was talking to somebody, a health practitioner, and she was saying, look behind you and see the railroad track. And, you know, that's your path, you know, as far as you can see. Now turn around and look forward, and the railroad track's in front of you, and that's your future that you want to be. And I said, yeah, but I'm sentimental. I don't want to say goodbye to, you know, I can get rid of the negative, but I don't want to forget or say goodbye to the things that I love or the people. And then she said, well, then when you think about that, think of just the really good things that made you feel good or feel good. Don't bring any of the negative up with you, and then that will be with you to go forward. So I thought, okay, I'll try that. That way I won't be depressed.
Some good advice. But yeah, it's difficult because, you know, in my mind, I see things, and just a smell or something will trigger off an emotion that it's a longing, you know. I can you say the word? I make it equal to basically a journey, if you will. You know, you have a starting point, and you let's say you're walking, and you just keep walking, and eventually everything that was behind you is gone and changed, and you're at a new destination. It's kind of like that. And the new destination is so exotic and different from where you've been that you really miss what was. And I guess that's hitting me hard lately. And friends that are no longer here, or things that I used to be able to do and now I can't. And so it's a little frustrating, you know.
It is. I can relate to all of that, but I try to incorporate a lot of that, and then just kind of meditate. And if I need to spend time, a time that I used to do these incredible bike rides, then I try to meditate and see myself doing that, you know, so that it's not like a total loss.
Well, Catalina, we
appreciate you remember doing.
We appreciate you calling in. It's time for our break, and
okay.
And
take care, you guys.
Yes, we love you to death, and we appreciate you. When you call, it's a big event. So thank you for calling in.
Thank you.
Thank you. Love you too. Bye bye.
All right. Bye bye. All right, Miss Catalina calling in tonight, and I think we might eventually get Bev calling in shortly. So. Hold on to your lug nuts, and we'll be right back.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe on the SBU network.
Explore the universe with Spaceboy and Surlana.
The epic battle begins this Friday. Direct from ringside at Laser Death Melt and Bot vs. Bot in Galaxy's 2-ton weight championship, where your challenger, Good Bot, will face the reigning champion, Bad Bot. You're terminated. Reserve seating starting at $30. 2-drink minimum, where ladies don't get in free. This is an SBU production. You're listening to Spaceboy Universe.
to Spaceboy Universe. Here are your hosts, Spaceboy and Surlana.
All right, kids, we're back. And I was just reading an article here about Madonna is trying to stage a comeback. And click the article, and it shows a picture of her and Lady Gaga.
Well, they've been pictured before.
And they've, Gaga has been accused of copying Madonna and like being Madonna 2.0.
Well, yeah, but I think Gaga took it further than Madonna ever did. But not that it matters or I even care.
Gaga.
Saved by the Bev.
Gaga taking it further or Madonna taking it further?
Gaga.
Because, we're talking about Madonna
There's some on the phone, dude.
dancing and with...
Bev is on the phone.
I know. I just wanted to get this out.
Like it's so important.
That Madonna dancing in front of crosses and,
Yeah, that's pretty whatever, but...
And then Gaga's, dancing around with meat on her?
Yeah, have you seen Gaga's videos? What about that Judas thing and, that Illuminati stuff and...
True.
I'm surprised they can get away with that.
See, I knew.
Yeah, well, this is the modern world. Bad is the new good, and that's how you know the end of the world's coming. It is. It's in the Bible.
I know. That's why I was like, oh, I just thought about that.
But anyway, I just thought it was interesting.
No, just to bum you out right off the bat.
It's out there. Well, here's a strange story that I came across. Drugged orangutan found in Russian's airline luggage.
What?
Yep. An orangutan.
Oh my
Apparently,
goodness.
a Russian tourist attempted to smuggle a drugged orangutan out of Indonesia.
Indonesia, wow.
Yeah. And in his suitcase to bring home to keep as a pet. But he was arrested in Bali. Apparently they said, what is up with that? So.
Well, how'd they find it?
Well, I guess the orangutan must have made some noises or something, or they scanned the luggage and saw some kind of, something unusual in the luggage.
Yeah, wasn't quite right, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Now, why would you want to have an orangutan as a pet?
Well, it worked for Clint Eastwood.
No, they're
that's
strong.
only in the movies.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're wicked strong, and if they wanted to break your arm, they can.
Mm-hmm. Easily. They could break a jaw easily.
But what gets me about them, the orangutans especially, like, you'll see these videos of people who, I don't know if they're documentarians or what, they'll go down there where these little guys live, right? And the natives or whoever live there, like, they'll go to the pond or the river and they'll, like, start washing their clothes. And these orangutans will come over and grab a piece of their laundry and mimic what the humans are doing, like they're trying to wash clothes too, just because for fun,
Mm-hmm.
So they're not stupid, and they're really strong, and you should not be messing with them for any reason.
Exactly. Well, you shouldn't take any wild animal out of their element.
Well, when are you taking Bob? Okay, missed this joke up.
Yeah, it's
when are you taking Bob back?
I don't know. I'm kind of used to him. I guess I'll keep him.
Oh, okay. That's nice of you.
But that's so weird. I don't understand people. Well, it's like having a wild tiger as a pet.
They do that too.
Yeah.
There's some places here in America you can own an exotic animal if you have the proper permits, and there's some places you don't need a permit.
True.
But the question I want to ask you, Bev, is: would you eat a deep fried Cadbury cream egg?
Well, no.
Might be tasty, right?
Wouldn't it melt all the chocolate and whatever?
Usually when you fry it,
quick.
Deep fry it, it's quick. It's just bam.
You could wash it down with coffee from an office mug, but be aware 1 in 5 office mugs contain fecal matter.
Ugh.
Oh, jeez. Are you serious?
That's what this thing says.
You know, if it's on the internet, it's got to be true.
Yeah, right. Because everything on the internet is true, right?
If you got to get, if you do that and you got to get it off your mind, you could take some venomous hot chili sauce, which mimics spider bites, and it will give you muscle spasms.
I could hear Bob in the background.
I can't get over that. 1 in 5 coffee cups
at the office at an office. We'll have that in there.
Fecal matter?
Yeah, it's not going to be your fecal matter. It'll be someone else's.
Apparently somebody's not washing their hands.
Ugh.
That's why I have my own cup.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Ooh. Now you got me thinking of that. That's gross.
Not as freaky as this picture I saw the other day of the Goliath spider. Those things are huge.
Mm-hmm.
What are they?
A Goliath spider. Yeah, if like this guy had his hand next to one of these things, and all I can think of is that a good idea to put your hand next to this thing?
Yeah, I think it's not gonna. No, I don't think it'll bother him.
The thing eats birds, you know.
Yeah.
I still wouldn't put my hand next to one of these things.
Oh, I wouldn't either, even if it was just a tiny one. I'm. What do you call that? I have a phobia with spiders.
Arachnophobic?
Arachnophobia.
Yes. I am deathly afraid of spiders. I'm always, whenever I see one, I'll call Bob.
Do you have calorophobia?
What's that?
Fear of clowns.
No, but my great niece does. She is scared to death of clowns.
A lot of people are.
You know, Surlana's not, because she's married to me.
If you put on some grease paint and some makeup and a clown wig, I might just have to beat you with a broom.
Do what?
She might have to beat me with her mode of transportation.
You're about to get it now.
Oh! Now you sound like Bob. He tagged me in a post one day on Facebook, and it showed oh, Bob says it showed a picture of a broom in a parking place at the store.
Right, I think I've seen this picture.
And Bob said that was my mode of transportation.
So what's on your mind, Bev? We've kind of been dominating the conversation, so something on your mind?
Oh, I bet you. Yeah. I can't wait till spring.
Is it still snowing there?
No, but it's not, I mean, now the first day of spring, of course, it snowed.
I bet you want to go all the way to Pennsylvania and kick old Punxsutawney Phil and his what is it, groundhog
butt?
Here? Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it for helping me out there. It's like da 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 blah blah blah. I can't get it out tonight.
Are you tongue-tied tonight, dear?
A little bit. You know, after my drink, you know, going through my nose, you know.
Yeah. It's hard to recover from that.
Yeah, it was hard.
I wanted to tell. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to go ahead. I was just going to comment about my drinking habit.
Yeah. I think you need to slow down there, son.
And what it is that, and I've told Surlana this, and she says, "You're a weird man."
Weird man.
Basically, you know, when I'm not talking mentally, I'm talking in my head, And sometimes that translates, I will actually feel like I'm talking. I'm using the muscles in my throat.
You sound like you're psychotic.
And so if I take a drink during a time when I'm thinking of talking, then that's when I usually get choked up. Because I'm thinking of what I'm going to say next. And so that the liquid will go down the wrong way.
You're a weird, weird man.
And that's why I cough up and choke the way I do.
Okay. That almost makes sense.
And tonight it was so bad that it was coming out of my nose that I was choking up.
Oh, God, I hate it when I was about ready to type up there, call 911.
No, it's, when he changes color, I'll call, but not, he's got to really commit to it.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Yeah, you got to be lying on the floor, blue.
Okay.
That's Surlana. All right, so I told my part. Now it's your turn, Bev.
I just wanted to say to Michelle that I am so sorry for her loss, and I know exactly what she's going through. I've lost my dad, too. And I lost mine 18 years ago. And I still think about him every day. So I just wanted to tell her that I love her. And my prayers are with her.
Let's see if she hears.
That's what I wanted to say to her.
Well, she's still in the other chat, so maybe she's still
listening.
Still listening. So.
Well, Bev, I know it means a lot coming from you to hear that for her. And, as I was kind of bringing up earlier, the loss of people that have been here that are gone. It's hard to get over that, and maybe we shouldn't get over that. And I think it just lives on through the years. And, I lost my dad in a kind of a freak accident. My dad was kind of he was a biker, and he carried a sawed-off shotgun in his jacket for protection.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so he wanted to make sure he was protected. But anyway, one year he ends up going to my grandfather's ranch, and as he bent down to pick up the key underneath the mat, the gun fell out of his jacket and shot him.
Oh my goodness.
And so, that's how I lost my dad. And so, and I was only 14 at the time.
Wow.
So, I guess from my perspective, even though my mom remarried, and I have stepfathers, and I do say stepfathers because she married more than once. Each father was a stepfather was a good role model in different aspects, but you don't forget your biological father, and
never.
Yeah, and so yeah, it's a great loss when you lose a mother or a father.
I've lost both.
Yeah.
So we lost our mom. Been about 10 years ago now, maybe 12 years. And then we lost our brother about 5 years ago, so all that's left is my two sisters and me. That's it.
Do you feel
so you never get over it, really.
I was going to say, do you feel the bond is stronger now with your sister?
With my baby sister, we've always had a good, a bond.
Mm-hmm.
My oldest sister, I don't know. I don't really talk to her a lot. It's just a lot of things happen.
Mm-hmm.
We'll put it that way.
Interesting.
But my baby sister and I mean, we're only 2 years apart, and we've always been real close. So, and her 3 girls, or 2, excuse me, her 2 girls are very precious. So, but, like I said, life goes on. It's not easy, but life goes on. it takes a little time. And, you, like I said, you never really get over it, neither.
No.
So, and that's like when we found out about my kidneys, my first thought was, oh, God, I got to call Mom. And she's been gone about 12 years now.
Mm-hmm.
So I still want to call her sometimes, but it's, like I said, you know, it is hard when you lose a parent.
True.
So, but, oh, so how'd your week go?
Well, the new work is fine. I'm enjoying the, you know, it's very high paced, and I work in what is considered managed services for IT, meaning that people hire the company for their IT needs. So there's multiple companies out there that we service, and so you know you go from one to the next and it's great in the sense that you know it keeps you busy. You know, you don't have to think. You just when I say you don't have to think, you don't have to think about what you're going to do next, because you know there's always something to do. And and another aspect is you know they have all the drinks and snacks you could want, which is really cool. You know, so I've been drinking a lot of water lately, and you know it's like. Whew, it's free, you know. I mean, well, water is free, but, you know, bottled water, you know.
Yeah.
And then they also have soda, which I don't drink a lot. I might have one in the morning to pep me up, but, you know, if you wanted a soda, like a Diet Coke or a regular Coke or Mountain Dew or something like that, they have that. And then they have snacks, and they kind of change up. Sometimes they have Goldfish or Cheez-Its or maybe a bag of chips, like baked Lay's chips, barbecue chips. You know, just little different things, and some. They got some other things
like
too.
A nice place to work.
It is, considering the last place I worked. You know, it was like I really was hating it. You know, and I'm glad that I'm out of that place. And I think Surlana says that I've mentally kind of changed.
Oh, sorry. Cat.
What, the cat?
Elliot's chasing at a mouse, and he got in between my legs.
Uh-oh.
I'm sorry. I didn't even scream. It kind of scared me.
That was good.
But, you know, the funny thing is he don't eat them. He just plays with them to death.
And he doesn't offer them as like a treat for you once he's caught them?
Yeah. No. I'll never forget the one cat we had. It brought Bob. We lived over in Findlay in a trailer park. And our one cat, I think Tigger, brought Bob, on his birthday, brought a mouse up into bed in her mouth. And I'm screaming. We had a water bed. You should see me trying to get out of that.
Muffin used to bring us insects, but since she's now strictly a house cat, you know, she doesn't go outside.
outside.
Yeah, see, Elliot, he's a house cat, too. He'll go outside. We don't let him go out.
Well, you know, we have coyotes that kind of roam the streets sometime, and so Surlana was very nervous about letting the cat go out anymore. So.
Oh yeah. I don't blame you.
Muffin misses her sunbathing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Bev, we're about to hit the break, and but you know, as always, we love you to death here at the Universe.
Well, I love you to death. I love everybody to death in the universe.
We also love Bob, so I know he's listening out there.
Yeah, well, I love him too. I'm used to him.
Yeah. Surlana says the same.
Yes.
He always says that it's cheaper to stay married.
Ain't that the truth? I like my kneecaps.
Yep.
Oh, you like what?
My kneecaps.
Oh. Uh-huh.
All right, I guess.
Well, I will.
Will we catch you next
Pardon me?
Saturday?
I sure will.
Awesomeness. All right.
You know, I'm always here.
Yes, you are. Good night, Bev.
Good night. Love you guys.
Love you too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, that was Bev, and we're going to take a break, and we'll be back after these messages.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe on the SBU network.
Explore the universe with Spaceboy and Surlana.
Greetings, Space Cadets. Let's see what's in the sky tonight in the Spaceboy Universe. Tonight, in the eastern sky, we have Spaceboy Universe rising above the horizon in glorious splendor. And in the west, we can see Surlana's Majoris, which is visible at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, just below the K28 belt. So keep your eyes on the sky and listen to Spaceboy Universe.
I'm Solaris Blue Ribbon, and I'm listening to Spaceboy Universe.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe. Here are your hosts, Spaceboy and Surlana.
Hey folks, it's Spaceboy. You have me for a little bit. Surlana had to step into another dimension. She'll be right back. But anyway, still haven't had any word in regards to what the new Star Wars movie is going to be called. And I think that's going to be played out here in time to come when you have the Star Wars convention up in Chicago coming up pretty soon. And hopefully we'll get some actual trailer action coming out of that convention. So a lot of people are tuning in and waiting for that to come down. If any of the things that Mike Zero is saying on his website, not his website, but his YouTube channel is true, then it should prove to be a most interesting Star Wars movie. Now, another thing is that Kathleen Kennedy is supposed to speak at this convention, and a lot of people are going to be upset with her, obviously, for what she's done to the I hope I didn't say Star Trek universe, the Star Wars universe. And so that should be some interesting stuff that's coming down the pipe pretty soon. There's still, speaking of Star Trek, you still got the Discovery out there that is involved in a lawsuit right now. Really? Apparently they took Star Trek took the propulsion that they have on this show and ripped it off from a guy that has a video game out there on Steam.
They confirm that?
Well, yeah, it's blatantly obvious.
How do they think they're going to get away with that?
Well, the Star Trek has some lawyers that are good at dragging their feet, and basically, at one point they mentioned that, they compared it to like westerns, like gunfights. Mm-hmm. You can't copyright a gunfight because that's kind of, you're going to have gunfights in the West, So they're comparing that as far as, it's common out there that you have a tardigrade that's the size of a bear that's capable of more than faster than trans warp drive to get you all over the galaxy. And so what's wrong?
What are you talking about?
Well, you're like...
I just started actually listening to the words coming out of your mouth. I'm like, it's not making sense.
What, the tardigrade?
Yeah, that's a bear, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a water bear.
Uh-huh.
And but basically, and they've used this bear that they tap in to drive the ship into, like, be able to appear anywhere in the universe. Oh. Mm-hmm. And it's borrowed from the idea from this game, which has characters that are almost exactly like in Star Trek Discovery. So,
So what's going to be the end? The guy going to get his recognition or whatever?
He needs to get his recognition, and from what I heard, that he lives at home with his parents who are ill, and he stayed there to help take care of him, but he still managed to create this game, and
That's like that guy that was making that game for PewDiePie.
Mm-hmm.
He said he actually, I think he's moving or he's in the process of moving. He had to stay with his parents while he's making the game because he was under deadline because he was in the middle of something.
But this guy, hopefully maybe next show I can bring up a little bit more details about this game. But it's a blatant rip-off. And when I say rip-off, it's a rip-off of CBS. Of this guy who created this game based on these characters. And, it's a shame that you have it's basically a David and Goliath kind of thing, where you have a big company that they can just do whatever. And you know what really pisses me off about this? And I'm sorry, Miss Michelle, but... So, basically what makes me mad about this is kind of like, it's CBS. It's the Star Trek thing where you had these fan films, and they wouldn't let the fan films do anything, right? They slapped them with copyright strikes and all this other stuff, and now you have a situation where you have someone like the guy that's created this game, and you have the company trying to say, "Oh no, we didn't steal it. We have the legitimate right to put this in our TV show." No, they don't. You blatantly stole it from somebody, and you should pay up for it. And I think I'll talk about this next time on the SBU and have more details, better details than doing it off the cuff. But it does irk me because it is one of those situations where you have a company that's trying to screw out somebody that has created a cool game, and they, of all the things that have gone south with Star Trek Discovery, as you know, Surlana, that this company is just doing this person over wrong. That'd be like some company taking my music and using it for their benefits, and they say, "Well, we wrote it. What are you talking about?" No, the heck you did. You need to pay up. So anyway, that's my rant for the evening.
Well, earlier you were talking about Shazam, the movie.
Yeah.
Well, the early reviews are in. It says it actually comes out April 5th, which is not too far from now.
I hope you're not reading that from Sci-Fi Wire.
No, I don't go there. Excuse me. What you did.
What is Sci-Fi Wire too?
I don't know anything about that. I've never heard of it. Anyway,
too snooty for your nose?
I don't know. Why are you making a thing out of this? I'm trying to tell you something.
Okay, well, tell me.
So as you say, because Aquaman's successful, they're kind of hoping maybe this will be the next one, right?
Yeah.
I kind of like the premise of, you got a 14-year-old kid, he's in the foster system, and he gets imbued with superpowers by this ancient wizard, and it looks like kind of like a slapstick comedy to me based on what we've seen. So he's a kid, but when he transforms, he's like an adult superhero. The embargo against talking about it has been lifted, so because it's so close to release date, okay, we can start reviewing it and then talk about it. So,
can I ask you a question? Were you listening to when I was talking about Shazam?
Yes. Well, this says, I'm just trying to back this up. It says that the consensus is pretty good. It's a different kind of movie, and the only thing is they say the origin story is not. It's kind of like meh, but whatever. But the reviews are positive. They think that the list of upcoming films for DC look good. Joker, Birds of Prey, The Suicide Squad, Titans, Doom Patrol. So they've got hope because this is looking like it's going to do good. Aquaman did good. So they're kind of thinking maybe this is the turning of the tide.
Well, the trend possibly is heading forward is to less of the solo movies like Superman, Batman, and more integrated with these characters, interacting with those characters. Instead of the way, and then of ultimately making these bad guy films more stronger, so that eventually they can lead up to the Unjustice League versus the Justice League kind of thing.
Yeah. So I just don't know much about DCU, that DC universe. I just don't.
And it's not to your fault. It's to the fault of DC because how poorly they put this all together. Now,
well, I'm talking about the whole, just everything. The only thing I can really speak to about is maybe Batman, because I saw the early Batman films, and I lost interest when we started going to the emo, broody, Dark Knight Batman. Like, okay, whatever. Even though I did see the one with the guy that passed away as Joker. Mm-hmm. I saw up to that one, and then I sort of just lost it.
Keith Ledger.
Keith Ledger as the Joker, which was. That took that concept of that comic to another level and made it like real villain.
He really did a great job of that character.
And I just everything else since then it seems like this is just a cartoon to me. So
yeah, it was sad that he passed away.
But the question is now, as you said, Disney has MCU and they fully have Fox. Will they keep Deadpool out of the MCU?
No, they've said that out of the X-Men properties, he's the only one coming over to Disney. Because they're basically going to clean house of all the storylines. Like, recently,
really,
for example,
for the X-Men, you mean?
Yeah, you know how you have Dark Phoenix coming up. Well,
yes,
all those characters that are playing the X-Men, kiss them goodbye, say bye-bye. And so they're not going to use those characters. But
their two biggest one has already retired.
And they don't want to damage their new cash cow, which is Deadpool. So they're bringing Deadpool over. And so, we're going to get a new X-Men. I mean, and it's not going to be like we're going to be without X-Men for a long time, because the way the MCU is heading is they're about to introduce mutants.
But my question, I think, are they going to take Deadpool and let him come into X-Men or the MCU films? Because he's just so totally different. He doesn't fit with anything. He's too fourth wall irreverent, is what I'm trying to say.
I think they're going to let him continue on with his stories.
Mm-hmm. X-Force, maybe?
I don't know, an X-Force. I mean, that's the ultimate goal, is to do the X-Force movie.
I love it in Deadpool till it's like, that's so sexist. X-Men. We can be, it's like, so there should be X-Force, more inclusive. And, it's funny. But they're saying, okay, now that Disney's got it all, right?
Mm-hmm.
A Fantastic Four relaunch is inevitable. I just could not care less about those four people.
And the reason Fantastic Four is on the plate is this, because the next big bad villain in the MCU should be Galactus.
Well, that's what they're saying. Marvel will want to introduce Dr. Doom and Galactus. Now, we haven't seen Dr. Doom yet.
And the part of the Fantastic Four, yes.
Okay, that's what I thought.
But we haven't seen him in the MCU.
Now, Galactus...
He would make a good villain coming into the MCU, Dr. Doom.
But Galactus is like an alien type thing, right?
Yes, and that's when you get the Silver Surfer.
Okay, so Galactus is that giant with the weird head gear. But that's the one that we saw in Venture Brothers. Ignore Me. Is that the one?
That's
based off it.
Based off him.
Loosely.
Yes.
I love that character. Ignore me.
So basically, you'll have Galactus, because if you remember in the Marvel Fantastic Four, when they had Silver Surfer, Galactus was more of a cloud kind of thing that they portrayed him. They didn't portray him as the figure that we've known from, all the comedic stuff.
Silver Surfer's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Really weird.
It'll be nice to see the Silver Surfer come back.
So X-Men, as you say, that's going to be a little trickier. That concept of mutants might get reshaped dramatically. Probably going to be several years before we see an X-Men stand side by side with Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, or Black Panther, which is... Because how do you take these two worlds and merge them? Because it would have to be like X-Men existed in an alternate universe, Earth, or it was just something they didn't talk about. Or it's in Deadpool's world where he's aware of all of it, because he references all of it, and DC.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why I love Deadpool. So, of course, Kevin Feige says that, it's not just a matter of what he calls marquee names like Wolverine and Professor X. It's Professor X, isn't it? There's hundreds of these names. So now Fox has been their little golden egg, the X-Men franchise, since the year 2000.
In a way, you kind of pay tribute to the Marvel universe because of the X-Men, of how they managed to...
Yeah, they did launch it, right? Although I thought it was Blade.
More or less. No, what I'm saying is the concept of the storylines and bringing all those characters together.
But the question is, what does this mean for Deadpool?
Deadpool, nothing changes. He is Deadpool. He will remain the same. He will come over from Fox. And
so he says Ryan Reynolds has defined that role in the same way Robert Downey Jr. defined Tony Stark. But his tone doesn't fit with the style or the family friendliness of the MCU. So what's Disney going to do with him? So this is Deadpool has a proper future post-Disney. Said Bob Iger, who is CEO of Disney, said they want to keep on making Deadpool movies, for sure.
Yeah, because it's a success. They don't want to, like I said, they don't want to mess with that cash cow.
So he fielded questions from the press about that. Will there may be an opportunity for an R-rated Marvel brand if they bring Deadpool in? Now, is it Logan? Was that the name of it? Logan was R-rated, but this is before Disney got a hold of Fox. So there is a little bit of a precedent set, for R-rated superhero movies. He said, Iger said, there is a possibility that Deadpool would need careful branding because of the R rating, so they're not confusing the consumer. Well, if you're confused by this, you're an idiot. So I'm sorry, but you are.
Example, Deadpool 1, the kids that sat behind us.
Well, that person, if they were their guardian or parent, that adult is an idiot, not the poor kids.
Mommy, is it over?
I know, that sounded so sweet and innocent. I wanted to turn. I was like, what the bleep are you doing with this, precious thing? Get out of here so I can enjoy my R-rated movie. So they're like, why mess with success? So Deadpool will be the only Fox character not rebooted by Disney. Think about that. Does that mean everything else in the MCU is up for reboots? Isn't that special? Reynolds says movies continuing to be R-rated. It's given Iger, he stated what he thinks all Marvel properties should be supervised by one entity. There shouldn't be two Marvels, meaning a PG and an R,
Right. So
Deadpool does clash with the MCU. Deadpool's future, he's not well suited to MCU because of the R rating. It's, that doesn't jibe with... Although, there's lots of violence and blood in regular adventure movies.
And it's interesting you bring this up about the R rating for Deadpool. The Scarlett Johansson, the Black Widow movie, originally the forethought was it was going to be rated R, but Bob Iger said no, it'll be like a PG-13 movie.
But she has a dark past.
She does.
It seems fitting that Black Widow would be. Again, recent rumors that Black Widow would be the first R-rated MCU were ill-founded. Feige said that's not something they even considered. But Deadpool have recurring characters other than just Wade Wilson, like his girlfriend, Colossus. Now we have Cable. He might return.
Right.
Negasonic Teenage Warhead and her girlfriend Yukio. I love that. Like, hey Wade, hey Yukio. So if they don't want to mess with the success, they got to retain those cast members. Well, and of course, they didn't talk about Blind Owl. So
well, I know one character that won't be back is the guy that plays it.
His bartender friend.
Bartender friend, yeah.
I won't miss him. So is he going to exist apart from the MCU? He'll work better as a separate entity. So there's a sense that that's kind of what they're hinting is they're going to keep him R-rated, let audience know if they keep him separate, like this is our one R-rated franchise. And they want to publish it under Marvel Max brand. And as you keep pointing out, Aliens is a Fox property. If they ever wanted to go back and do something dark with that, they might need this new R-rated umbrella,
Fox Max.
Well, it'd be
After Dark.
That kind of thing. So just think they could clash those two properties, couldn't they? They could have a xenomorph show up somewhere in MCU. There's no legal reason they can't, right?
No, because they would own properties, but they're not going to do anything like that.
No, but they can't. So it's not difficult to continue Deadpool.
But they're, circling back to the Alien franchise, the franchise of my love, Von Klomp.
Neil Blomkamp?
Thank you very much.
What the Sam Hill is wrong with you?
He and, actually, it was more, now I'm trying to think of the guy that's directed Terminator and, and Avatar, James Cameron. Yes, thank you. Sorry, it's getting late.
Yeah, it's time to go to bed.
James Cameron has expressed a big interest to returning to the Alien franchise, like he's doing right now with the Terminator franchise, and he's liked what's his name again? Blomkamp.
You're doing this on purpose. I refuse to even listen to you anymore.
Anyway, he's been really interested in this storyline and some of the production pictures he's done, and it might be a situation where, hey, we're on the air. Shh.
Muffin objects to you.
See, lost my train there for a second. Anyway, so James Cameron likes a lot of this, so there's a good chance that we might get his production of Aliens, or what would be great is some kind of sequel to the Aliens movie with the Colonial Marines and all that good stuff, and which ties into what's his name again?
I'm not even talking to you anymore.
Vandy Camp?
Just get through this. Come on.
I'm just saying that the future for the Alien franchise looks awesome because of the acquisition. Now, speaking of the Fox acquisition, you know how there's been many things on The Simpsons where they say that it's predicted the future?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's another thing that comes right out of the show where it shows the 20th Century Fox. The thing. Well, it has the 20th Century Fox, and on the very, very bottom it says a division of Disney.
It's pretty spooky how some of those things, I'm like, the people who work there are probably a little bit of industry insiders because maybe they have access to back channel talk that we would never have. So that's maybe how they know it, but still. And then to put it out there for you to see, even if it's a little Easter egg, I mean, that's pretty, I do have to wonder sometimes,
Well, I would imagine that maybe Murdoch at one time, Rupert Murdoch, figured that, eventually if his kids didn't want to do certain things to carry on the company, then he would want to end it up in a place where somebody could take care of it. Kind of like the Muppets. Which you
don't care about anymore when they got all liberal and political. Puppets.
And then I was going to say, kind of like that epic rap battles of history where you have Jim Henson and you have Stan Lee, and they're doing the epic rap battle, and ultimately Walt Disney comes in and he says, "You belong to me now," and start churning out things left and right, and which is kind of funny when you start thinking about it. And as soon as Disney acquired it, I can understand they're trying to make the best out of their properties. Of course, they're not doing too well with Star Wars, but that's another story altogether.
Well, I don't know where you go with that one.
You go to Chicago and wait to see if Kathleen Kennedy gets booed off the stage.
Are they having a convention, you said?
Yes, they're having. Okay. That's probably why we haven't received the trailer for Star Wars Episode 9
They're waiting
yet.
for their own convention, huh?
Yes, exactly. To try to, pump up the excitement as we leave. It's unheard of as far as not putting out a trailer like Star Wars has.
Mm-hmm.
Usually they put out something a year in advance that kind of like build the excitement up as we get, go down the pipe as we get closer to the premiere of the show. And they haven't done that yet. So I'm wondering if they're going to just tie all this together with Disney Plus.
Are you going to be able to be okay till then? To get a trailer?
Well, I think what it's more worse for me is the Marvel stuff than Star Wars stuff right now.
Come here.
With
Come
things
here,
that have been out there,
Sorry, Muffin came over to see me. Come here, baby. Come here. She thinks she's hungry. She's not. promise you she's not hungry.
Well, you know,
Spank you. Or spank you, kitty.
since we've been sidejacked by Muffin, the cat entertainer, we'll go ahead and take our last break of the evening and walk it all the way to the end. So don't touch that dial. We'll be right back.
You are listening to Spaceboy Universe on the SBU network.
Explore the universe with Spaceboy and Surlana.
Get your game on Spaceboy Universe. Level up with Spaceboy Universe. No quarters, no problems. Play it at Spaceboy Universe.
listening to Spaceboy Universe. Here are your hosts, Spaceboy and Surlana.
All right, we're back.
Kind of forgot we were still doing the show.
Babe, I mean, we just took our break. And,
did I take that? Oh,
I mean, we went down the superhero thing. Disney, what is it? DC, has their own streaming thing.
Do they?
Yeah, and I can't remember what's the name of the show, but they have a show out that is got these oddball superheroes, and one of them is Brandon Fraser.
You told me about this. What is this like a recent thing or?
Mm-hmm. And man, I wish I saw the preview on YouTube on Netflix for not Netflix. It was for their streaming service.
What are you looking for?
This the name of the show that he's on. And he's in some kind of metal contraption that looks like a robot. Doom Patrol is what it's called.
Oh, Doom Patrol. I hope sincerely that that is a good thing for Brendan Fraser, that it works out and he gets everything he wants out of it, because the last time I saw him, holy crap, he was in a bad way, mentally and physically. I don't know what had happened to poor Brendan Fraser, but I generally wish the best for him. That poor guy. I don't know what he's been through, but he's been through something.
Mm-hmm.
I hope it's all better now. I hope he gets everything he can out of it.
Yeah, I hope the best for him too.
I don't know the guy, but he seems like a cool, good guy that deserves to have good things happen.
Good guy that just happened to get some bad his way, and not to his own devices, but
You're sitting over there a little while ago mocking me for chewing noises when I'm chowing down on my turkey and cheese, and you're over there. So I don't want to hear another.
The audience doesn't want to hear you distract,
and they don't want to hear you crunching down.
So please continue.
And coughing and choking to death. So don't even give me looks anymore. I don't even want to. Oh, so Catalina said Brendan Fraser got a bad divorce. I suppose that could throw you off too. But I thought maybe that, and maybe something like maybe all the acting jobs dried up for him or something, because he was looking physically bad. So
well, he definitely has some weight on him.
Bless his heart.
And let's see here. Come on, Guerrero. Let's see.
So Doom Patrol is a thing you can watch
on the DC streaming thing that they have.
Where's that at? Is it an app, or is it just something you log into, or?
I knew you were going to ask me.
Well, don't worry about it.
At the time, when they had the streaming service, I was going to say, no, I'm not buying another damn streaming service.
I know.
I mean, I have Hulu, I have Netflix, I have Amazon, and I've just
Gaia. Showtime, Stars, HBO.
But that's not quite the same. I lump those under Amazon.
Oh, well.
I mean, and of course,
you're paying individually for them.
Sure. I have the CBS thing. I have Gaia. I have.
You could probably go in there and snip some of those out.
Could, if I was ready to perform a vasectomy on my Amazon account.
No, you could probably dump Hulu. I don't know that you're using that.
I use it to watch the Orville sometimes.
You could probably dump Gaia, although there's some really interesting content on there.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe Showtime? Yeah? Do you really get anything out of those? I mean...
yeah, sometimes they have, series shows.
Would you like to know the top 10 John Hughes movies of all time?
Hit me up.
Number 10, which I didn't know was a John Hughes movie. It was written by him. Mr. Mom, which was a classic because this was 1983. And all the way up to 1983, we have this societal norm in this country where the man goes to work. And if the woman can work too, but usually the one that stays home, the parent stays home, is the mother, the female. Well, he gets laid off or something, and then she decides, I want to resurrect my dreams of working, so he has to stay home and be the mom. So that was a classic film. Number 9, Beethoven. This is about the dog. It was co-written by John Hughes under a pseudonym, so that's why you didn't know he was involved. And it wasn't a movie I ever saw. Number 8, another Hughes classic, Pretty in Pink, where I think Ducky should have gotten her in the end instead of the Andrew McCarthy, because he was the rich snot kid, and they were the kids from the other side of the tracks, her and Ducky. But I really think she should have ended up with Ducky. John Cryer is finally starting to show signs of aging. Thank God. I thought the man was a robot or something. So, number 7, of course, is the ubiquitous Home Alone. Mm-hmm. That's one of his most memorable that John Hughes was involved in. We see the flaws in it now from coming from this perspective. Like, there's no way you could forget a kid, in this day and age. But
I wonder if Uncle Buck is going to be in that list.
Number 6 is near and dear to my heart, because who doesn't love 16 Candles? Oh, sexy girlfriend. She married oily bohunk. And, of course, the guy gets the girl, but the girl wanted the guy first. So, everybody wins. Number 5, I'm kind of which is The Breakfast Club. Almost the same people.
That is such a... That's
a classic, but I'm kind of...
classic anthem.
I would put that lower down, though, than the other one. So, best thing that came out of that was probably the soundtrack. You get Don't You Forget About Me, which is still a classic song. Number 4, The Great Outdoors, starring Dan Aykroyd and John Candy. Number 3, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, starring John Candy and Steve Martin. My mom loved that movie. That's what I remember about it. I remember going to see it in a theater next door to Dillard's. Number 2, and I absolutely agree with this, it probably should be number 1, is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, with Chevy Chase with his cousin Eddie, which is played by Randy Quaid. There's another guy, I think he got screwed over by Hollywood. Mm-hmm. And of course, what's number 1? You want to guess it? Number 1 John Hughes movie. Just said it.
You just said it?
You just said it.
Uncle Buck?
It's Uncle Buck.
Really?
It's got a big picture of John Candy with that drill. Mm-hmm. So John Candy, apparently Hughes loved John Candy, So, they call him, they got a family, and the mom's mother or father is sick. So they've got to take off, but leave the kids there. They got a teenage daughter and 2 young children, another daughter and Macaulay Culkin as the kid, little kid, which I think this must have been before Home Alone.
Yeah, because he's younger in this.
And they were freaking adorable, the 2 little kids. Mm-hmm. So he's trying to watch his sister-in-laws. It's his brother and sister-in-law's children. So his nieces and nephew. And he doesn't know anything about taking care of kids, but he wants to do the good thing because he's known as the family screw up, right? Mm-hmm. But he actually bonds with the younger kids, and they love him. He actually helps the older teen girl get out of a bad situation at a party, and it's just a heartwarming classic. And all of these films mentioned here, they don't make those anymore. They don't make them like that anymore. Mm-hmm. What's the last modern movie you saw that you came away, you felt so good about it, and you're like, no, that's going to be a classic. I'm going to watch that over and over again for the next 20 years. I can't think of one. I really can't. Movie. Then
again, I keep telling myself that movies today are not made for us.
No, maybe not, because culture changes. And whatever's if everybody really likes watching people get shouted at and punched in the nutsack, then all the movies are going to be like that, which If they were, I'd probably kind of like that. But anyway, so if we all like heartwarming, innocent family films, that's what you're going to produce. But no, we're in the dark ages. We're like, we want these dark, gritty, apocalyptic things that you have to overcome. So much as we enjoy the superhero things, it's pretty heavy. Like this Avengers thing, it's heavy stuff, right? It's not happy times. Not like the first Guardians of the Galaxy, which was kind of fun. So everything is just heavy. I don't know what's coming out that wouldn't be. Maybe Shazam wouldn't be too heavy,
No, that looks like a fun movie.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a slapstick, lighthearted. So I'm trying to think. All the movies that are coming out seem kind of, like Hellboy will be. I bet it'll be fun, but it's Hellboy.
It's a demon.
He's a demon. Yeah. So you can't really call that uplifting. John Wick, I'm sure will kick butt, but it's going to be violent and people are trying to kill him. Right?
And he's successful at killing everyone.
Captain Marvel was not that much of a downer, but she slots into the MCU and she's going to have to go fight alongside.
Brie Larson.
Oh, you're saying that was the dark side?
That was the dark side. The woman with no butt.
Well, you can't really say that. Oh, okay. The reason he's saying that is there was some photographs from the set where she's in her getup, her green Kree armor, and baby don't got back. We'll be honest about that, but whatever. I'd love to not have a butt. That'd be great. But they put this photograph of her next to. They put this photograph next to a photograph of the backside of Tom Holland, who's currently playing Spider-Man. And my goodness, Tom has an amazing booty. I'm going to go ahead and say it. He has, or it's the way they've got his suit cut around his posterior. I'm like, that is squeezable. and I'm hoping he's over 21 so this doesn't make me sick.
I was going to say, I think you're old enough to be his mother.
I know, but hopefully he's over 21 so I'm not going to get in trouble for saying this. There's a bunch of movies coming out I've never heard of. That Alita Battle Angel looks kind of heavy. Mm-hmm. Pet Sematary, of course, that's a remake. Yeah. That's heavy. Hellboy. There is something called Missing Link that's going to be for kids. I don't know what that's about. There is yet another movie about a woman that gets transformed into a little girl. So maybe that wouldn't be too heavy.
Is that like a Takeoff to Big?
Yeah, called Little. It's going the other way. There's a Penguin documentary. Maybe you can look forward to that. Everything just looks so freaking, intense or heavy or dramatic. And there's an Ugly Doll movie, but that's probably going to have like some core message in it that I'm like, okay, whatever. There's a movie called Meeting Gorbachev. It's a documentary. That looks like that might be interesting. I probably am not going to watch The Hustle unless you buy it later with Anne Hathaway and Rebel Wilson.
Yeah, I think that's one of those. I'll wait for Prime.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be the female version of Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to find something that isn't just like, oh my gosh, there's something about Tolkien, about his younger years.
Mm-hmm.
Silence of Others, that looks okay. I don't know. John Wick 3. A Dog's Journey, that looks interesting. I'm not going to watch Aladdin, the live action film. Ad Astra looks heavy. I do want to see Godzilla King of Monsters, I think. It's got Millie Bobby Brown in it. I think that might be good. Dark Phoenix, I'm probably not going to watch that.
I heard it's, going to be good.
Has Men in Black International come out already, or is it later?
I think it's going to be later.
That might be good.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am posting the infamous Tom Hardy picture and Captain Marvel picture comparison.
It makes me laugh. This is the imbalance Thanos was talking about.
I figured you'd laugh. and I got to be honest with you, but you know, that butt shouldn't be on that.
You can't stop looking at it either. Well, okay, here's the thing I heard about Tom. You know, way before he ever got the role, right?
Mm-hmm.
He had a background in dance and theater and athletic movement, so and some previous acting. So he naturally transitioned to doing these acrobatic movements that Spider-Man does, and a little bit of the stunt work, and he's a little muscular.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's done ballet in the past, if I've got that right. But so he may have built up his glutes, you know, doing that, or he's just naturally gifted in that area. But good on you, Tom Holland, for having a, you know, baby got back there. Good for you.
It is disturbing to look at. I did see another.
I can't stop. I gotta close this tab. What have you done? That's on you. That's your fault.
Here,
Oh, by the way, Spider-Man Far From Home does come out July 5th. And, of course, we're eagerly waiting in-game to find out where in the world does Far From Home fit in the timeline if he's alive. So, you know, that kind of thing.
All right, y'all. This is a link to a better picture. That way you can compare apples and apples.
Not much there for her.
But for Scarlett Johansson, I mean, it's enough to be feminine looking.
We really shouldn't be talking about this at all because it seems sexist.
Yeah, you should.
When I can beat them both, you know.
You shouldn't be looking at Tom and his.
I shouldn't be oogling him the way men oogle women. You're saying, especially because he's such young, innocent. Okay, wait a minute. There's a Joker movie coming out in October.
Yes.
Okay, but it's not. It's not DC.
It is.
It is. A failed stand-up comedian is driven insane and becomes a psychopathic murderer. Zazie Beetz, Robert De Niro, Joaquin Phoenix. Okay, so it's got a major lineup there.
Mm-hmm. Takes place in the 80s.
And then we get A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. Finally, I found one uplifting thing. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Okay, and this ties back into my emotional thing of watching things that have, you know, as a kid, I grew up on Fred Rogers. And so when I recently saw that documentary based upon him, it made me shed a tear. And now, you know, you got Tom Hanks, sure to be a crowd pleaser in this movie, playing Fred Rogers. I've seen the clips of it. He looks remarkably great in this movie. And I think it's going to be a good movie.
Two-time Oscar winner Tom Hanks will portray Mr. Rogers. The timely story of kindness triumphing over cynicism, based on the true story of real-life friendship between Fred Rogers and journalist Tom Junod. After a jaded magazine writer is assigned a profile of Fred Rogers, he overcomes his skepticism, learning about empathy, kindness, and decency from America's most beloved neighbor. And yes, I did watch. It was Sesame Street, and I think right after Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood came on right after. And this is when there were only 4 channels on TV. Yes, that's how old I am. And then after that, I think it was This Old House or something like that. So, and Bob Ross. So I had the children's content. I learned to paint trees and woodworking. You didn't have a choice. So there you go. So there's a Terminator movie coming, huh?
Mm-hmm. And Linda Hamilton's coming back for it.
Frozen 2, but even, you know what? Even that looks a little heavy.
Yes, it looks dark.
It looks dark. And then another Jumanji. Those are always intense, but those are usually family. And, of course, you know what happens on December 20th.
Would that be the infamous Star Wars?
Yes.
With no name?
It's Star Wars Episode 1X.
Which is 9.
9. Are they going to 10 or is 9 the end?
Well, 9 is supposedly in, as they say, for the saga, for Luke, the Skywalker saga.
So it would have to be a new... They'd have to follow, like, Rey or something, or, you know, somebody else.
That is yet to remain to be seen. I think what they're going to do is they're going to do a prequel. The prequel will take place before the prequels that have been made already.
There's a wait. There's a prequel to the prequels.
It's the Old Republic is what it's called. And,
okay.
And
before some of these people were born, maybe.
And hopefully we'll learn officially that there is no Rian Johnson trilogy coming out.
Okay.
Because this, the Old Republic themed prequels is going to be directed by some of the guys of Game of Swords, Game of Thrones.
If you say so. I hate to tell you this, but I don't have anything left to say.
Well, I mean, we are down to the nitty gritty.
Yeah.
So,
I'm just looking at content here.
Okay. I think we might have a main topic.
I hate to even call it. I'll try to revisit the one we were supposed to do tonight, but it depends on if I get well between now and, like, say, Tuesday. And I've taken medication, so it ought to happen. So,
well, Gene, we appreciate the fact you learned something new from our show. We try to throw curveballs at you, just liven it up. And thanks, Bob, for making it fun night with the SBU team. So,
yeah, Bob.
Good night, Donna. Pleasant dreams. People know that the door is about to close and the lights are going to go out. You know, we strive hard to make this a show.
Sometimes we strive hard
to make this show a show of love and light through the universe.
Tonight was sort of phoned in. I'm sorry about that, but that's mostly my fault.
Stop apologizing. People love the show. They're saying they like the show.
Enjoy it while you can.
You didn't have to go there. That's just downright mean. See?
What are you...
Don't worry about it.
What are you doing over there?
I'm not eating pizza.
You eating popcorn? Who said anything about pizza?
You earlier?
Yeah, that would have been good, wouldn't it? But I wanted it from, like, a place off of Westheimer.
Yes. Double Dave's?
Yes. Not sponsored.
It's important we say these because we have no sponsors.
No, nobody's paying us for anything. Just so you know. Oh, good, Catalina. We thank you for calling in, Bev and Catalina. It was great to hear from you. I kind of hope that Catalina becomes one of the regular callers. That'd be awesome. Was I going to tell you anything from this week? No.
So, have you noticed a change in me since the new job started?
You know what I think the biggest change is that's helped you is the traffic. You're not having to fight that traffic from way over there to here. Well, it's not way over there. You can take a surface street from your place straight to this house. Almost.
Yes, pretty much.
You don't have to get on I-10 like I do every day both ways. And for me, it's not a problem. It's only a problem in the evening. So.
You know, and I think what the nice thing is, even if there's a little traffic on that road that goes straight to our house, I don't mind it because, it's nice. It's got trees. There's
things to look at. There's places to stop and go to the restroom. There's
a
food places.
A few houses along the way I can stop and go to the restroom. And,
what, pee in their yard?
Well, I mean, the way you made it sound,
like there's like McDonald's and things all the way between there and here, right?
Not until I get closer to home.
What about Dairy Queen?
Oh, well, I'm not going to stop at Dairy Queen to go to the restroom. I might stop at Dairy Queen to get me one of them. If you delicious...
stop at Dairy Queen and get something, you better consume it before you get home, and you throw it away where I can't see the evidence.
Have I not offered you to bring you something, and then you said...
Because it will be melted by the time I get there.
So how am I at fault
I
in
could
that?
theoretically exit in such a way it would take me right by there.
Yes, you could.
I never thought about it.
And don't act like I haven't brought you treats home before.
I never acted like you never brought me home before. I mean, when
treats home.
When you were at home at the end of February, waiting to look for other opportunities, I'd go to work and you would be here. The cat would be fed. You'd meet me at the door with a drink with ice. It was like you were the perfect little 1950s housewife. He's better. Let me tell you what, Spaceboy is a better housewife than I am. It's shameful to admit, but there you go. There, we end on a compliment. How about that? Is that popcorn?
All right. I think Surlana's already hallucinating. So
popcorn.
Just join us next week, my friends, when Surlana will find out if I'm eating popcorn or not.
What is that?
But other than that, just from my heart to yours, thank you for being a part of the universe. We love you all. So tune in next week, and we will bless you with some more fun conversations. Good night, everyone.
Spaceboy Universe is hosted by Spaceboy and Surlana. Executive producer is Surlana. Associate producer is Leanne Cordes. Music production is Spaceboy of SpaceboyMusic.com. Special thanks goes out to Leanne K, K28, Dino, Solars Blue Raven, Patrick Sporer, Bob and Beverly N. This has been a Spaceboy Universe production. Support the universe by exploring Spaceboy Universe with Spaceboy and Surlana. Sweet dreams, Space Cadets. You are listening to Spaceboy Universe on the SBU network.
Explore the universe with Spaceboy and Surlana.